The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs face off at the Super Bowl once again this Sunday. And our next guest helps provide all of the food and drinks for fans to dig into during the big day in stadium. Joining me now, we've got Belinda Oakley, who is the North America CEO of Sodexo Live. Belinda, great to have you here with us. Let's first talk about this experience, talk about pricing for people who are already paying thousands of dollars to get into that fan experience, into the stadium. They're also going to be thinking about some concessions along the way.
Yeah, look, Brad, it's obviously no secret that the Super Bowl is all about what's happening on the field. But for us, it's very much about what's happening in the concession stands, in the suites. We have about 4,000 team members, which we like to call our experience makers, who will bring 62,000 fans the taste of New Orleans right there. And I think, as you said, it's an event that's about football, but it's also about the food. I think the story goes it's the second largest food consumption day in the year outside of Thanksgiving for America. So we love the opportunity to bring that to life, and certainly it runs the gamut from game day favorites like hot dogs to Lobster Po Boys and high-end food. And just like we see in our existing spaces, the experience economy is something people are absolutely willing to pay for.
We want to take a look at the menu here, because for some of us, not all of us can be there in person, but we're going to be tuning in. And here's some of the things that are going to be on the menu that fans can experience for the big game in person here. And a lot of this has kind of that taste, that flair of New Orleans as well. So kudos to you and the team for really crafting this and that consideration. I wonder on the pricing side, as it is so critical to make sure that you're offsetting all of the costs that go into bringing that experience to life, how you're also receptive of what fans are able and willing to pay, as it seems like concessions have just gotten so expensive over the years.
Yeah, look, and I think as you know, there's been a lot of economic impacts that have made it more difficult to sort of keep that fan-friendly pricing. But I think what we see today across the entire hospitality industry, and especially live events industry, is really that kind of tiered approach from a lot of focus on value favorites, whether that is the $4 hot dog to the really, really high end. You know, people are coming for this once in a lifetime experience, and they want to match that with a once in a lifetime option. I think you just showed there the shrimp po' boy that we have. Obviously, Super Bowl 59, we couldn't help but have a little bit of fun. We have 5 local shrimp on there, and then 9-hour braised short ribs. So I would say I mentioned local, and I think that's a huge part and piece of the puzzle. The best part about bringing the taste of New Orleans to the Superdome on Sunday is that we're using a ton of local vendors. And that's really important for us generally, is putting money back into the local economy, but also bringing that quintessential New Orleans flavor to the dishes that we're serving. You know, the bread really matters. You know, what you're serving it on makes a big difference. The French roll that you get in New Orleans versus the French roll you get elsewhere. So I think that helps us a little bit on that front. And as I say, I think the big thing that we're seeing in terms of inflation and the impact on consumer pricing is that we've got to keep making those value options available in all cases, so that live events are something that everyone can enjoy. But the desire for bigger, better, more exclusive, more unique, it just keeps growing and climbing.
Belinda, you know, it's an amazing kind of read-in that you get on the state of hospitality as well, through the employment lens too. And we were talking about that a little earlier in the show, just with regard to some of the economic data from ADP that published this morning on private payrolls. I wonder, through your own seat and your own perspective, what you're seeing in the dynamics of making sure that you're fully staffing not just the Super Bowl events, but also all of the other stadiums that you work in tandem partnership with to bring this concession experience to life.
Yeah, look, it's the most important piece of the puzzle, frankly. I mean, our global purchasing reach is incredible because of the size of our organization, but it doesn't really matter what you do with the food if you don't have the experience makers and talent behind it to execute. The service experience is a huge part of the overall sentiment you have when you're visiting. So for us, I think we're really, really proud that we're investing in the industry generally. So in New Orleans specifically, as an example, we have a wonderful partnership with an incredible organization called Noki, which we're using as our kind of leaping ground to hire people local from the community who might never have even thought about a career in hospitality and need a kickstart. So we offer completely free community classes to sort of get you ready for a job in the Superdome or at the Convention Center or one of the other amazing venues that we operate there. Because I think while hospitality wage prices have certainly gone up, at the end of the day, we have to keep attracting people into the hospitality industry. It is not for everyone. It's nights, it's weekends, it's hard work, but for the people who find it, they usually find they never leave. It's really for the love of the game, and it's a love of the hospitality industry that we're trying to attract.
Yeah, a lot of us had our first job in that industry as well. I certainly was one of those. Belinda, thank you so much for taking the time here with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.